Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again for Opsdesk.org, doing the news you can use, the big news recap on Friday, 18 July. So here we go, midsummer. Now, I think the big story today happened midday or so. It didn't really catch fire yet. Is this story coming out of the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence Office, from Tulsi Gabbard, who Tulsi is saying that she is releasing documents which demonstrate that it was Barack Obama who had his finger on the trigger, so to speak, relative to Crossfire Hurricane and all of the conspiracy stuff that went on against Donald Trump in 2016 as we led into the November 2016 election. Why do I bring this up first? One of the reasons is that if you are a subscriber to the podcast, and if you're not, shame on you. Myself and the Brain Trust covered this actually last week, and we came out in a similar spot. And that is to say, as we examined the cases that are supposedly going on, criminal cases, going on against John Brennan and James Comey, we said, well, what's the common denominator there? And of course, it was Barack Obama. And if you believe that we had this conspiracy, which is the word you keep hearing from the documents that the FBI found when they got in there, the current FBI, and they got in there, they found this room, this cache of documents that apparently the previous administration thought that they had gotten rid of. If you believe what we're hearing that's coming out in drips or drabs, it seems to indicate that there is this enormous conspiracy case, and now it's coming out from the DNI, that conspiracy case could include Barack Obama, believe it or not. Now, let me be clear. Oh, man, do I want to see a former president of the United States locked up? No, but on the other hand, it didn't stop the left from doing it or trying to do it to Donald Trump. And so why is the received wisdom that, oh, okay, but we can't do it, Barack Obama is untouchable? Bullshit. If you could do it to Donald Trump, who was the target of all of this, then at the very least, we can investigate what looks to be, according to the reporting, a developing conspiracy, and the common denominator between the heads of the two main intelligence agencies at the federal level, the FBI and the CIA, appear to be implicated, and Barack Obama is the common denominator, and there is no way that these two could have got up to what they got up to with the Steele dossier and all the other stuff that went on here, the joint intelligence statement that was put out relative to Russian collusion and all of that stuff. It's very hard to believe that Barack Obama did not have his foot on the accelerator with that. And the fact that the DNI now is leaking it and reportedly going to back it up with document releases is really interesting and really troubling. And, you know, I wish they hadn't put it out on Friday because that's when news gets buried. But, you know, it's a tell that the mainstream media won't touch it. And when I see something like that, I start to say to myself, if they won't touch it, then there very well may be something to it. And I think it, at the very least, bears looking into, because we do need to know, as we've been saying all along here, what happened there. And I got to invoke Watergate. I know it's tiresome, it's a cliche, but nobody had any qualms about going after Richard Nixon relative to Watergate. I was a kid, but I remember it. And if nobody has any qualms about that, and nobody has any qualms about going after Donald Trump, notice, two Republicans, then why should we have any qualms about looking into the sainted Barack Obama, the patron saint of the progressive left these days? Sorry, goose gander. Let's move on. I want to make one other point. I made it on the 5 today. And by the way, thank you for everybody who has written kind words about the 5. It was great fun. Look, doing that show, it's like being among friends. I know a lot of the characters involved here, and they're very gracious to me, and I do really enjoy it. So that said, I brought up something today about a guy named Roy Singham, who resides in Shanghai. This is one of the main financiers for all the anti-American stuff and pro-Beijing stuff that you see coming out. This guy's an enemy of America, and his niece, as I said on the air, is the head of Jews for Mamdani, Jews for Zoran, technically it's called. She's not even Jewish. I think maybe she's married to a Jewish guy or something, but for whatever reason, she leads that charge, and she's here in New York. So there are all these cutouts that they use for the funding, but believe me, it starts with him, all the usual characters, the Rockefeller Foundation, Ford, Soros. It goes through 40 different pipelines. It ends up with Mamdani. Americans should know about that name, Roy Singham. I'm Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.